What is going on, everybody? This is your boy, and this is your review for The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 11. This is the reading part 3, and you know what? My bad. I forgot to change the background. That's better. A little bit more vibrant. So we pick up where we left off with crying Kathy. And Cal is asked, "Do you regret doing American Woman given the wedge?" She says, "No, it was a love letter to her mother." They feel, well, Kyle feel because of the show. I'm sorry, because of their children that they were able to come back together. Kathy thinks it's because of her. Whatever. The show definitely helped them, and Garcelle was asked about her forgetting about her sister as she was naming off all of her siblings. And it was just a slip, but she did say that they were going through something at the time, which may have contributed to her forgetting, but she didn't want to bring it up because her sister isn't on the show. There we go. And we're back, so now we have the Crystal package. She's asked about the escort job. She pretty much said it was an advertising company that did the advertising for that. It happened, but she had the job between high school and college. Okay, cool. Coatgate is brought up, and Crystal feels that things were compounded between her and Sutton because it was pretty much a two-day thing. So had they not had that color conversation, she probably would have taken that particular incident as just an isolated moment. But because there were issues before then, obviously, ish compound. Why the hell is Cal and Mauricio in a commercial? A TikTok. I shouldn't have looked over there. My bad. But that was her whole thing when it came to that. And then Andy also asked her, "Do you think because of your body issues that played a part in you feeling away?" And she did say yes, which is why after the trip she decided to share that with the group. Um, I'm trying to see if I'm missing anything. With the whole eating disorder, she was asked by Andy, did you warn your mother before? And she said yes, she did. Because obviously it was going to air, so she wanted to kind of brace her for it. And her mother asked, "Why would you share that?" Now, again, given some of the women's ages, safe to assume that Crystal's mother is a baby boomer. I was born to a baby boomer, even though I'm Generation Y, millennial here, early years. But with all of that, there is this whole thing of it's certain things you don't talk about. And this is common in a lot of different communities, not just African American or Chinese American. But what goes on in this house stays in this house. If it's anything that's private, personal, you don't share it. It's all about maintaining a certain image. Trust me when I say I know these things very, very well. So I can understand why her mother will pose that as a question. Um, she was also asked why her dad probably didn't share him being racially attacked when she was present, and more or less just the other experiences. But again, more than likely a baby boomer, dad, you might see some emotion in the moment, but they're not going to discuss it. I mean, hell, my father passed away back in 2016. I still don't know what all is wrong with him. What was wrong with him because he wouldn't share. Though I can't get mad at him because damn it, I don't share a whole lot, but damn it, I get that from him. But I'm just saying, like, some of these things are cultural, some things are more or less just within the generation, not necessarily cultural. She says that she received hundreds of racial threats a day, and she chose to do this for representation for Chinese Americans. I'll give that to her. So I just want to say this is probably going to be a short review, maybe just maybe, because it seems like they're giving us all the fluff until probably the end where they're going to pick it back over there, because that's what I'm feeling right now. But they go through talking about fashion and whatnot. Okay, like I said, one I'm gonna do, and then two, I dress basic as hell in general. So man, but Rena is as it was posed to her. Did you move your vintage clothing after revealing where they were to the world? And she said yes, and even told her you might want to get those put someplace else. So there's a store where you can store vintage dresses. Okay, cool, whatever. The ladies are asked about who is the more fashionable, and that was actually asked to Garcelle since she would walk the runway. She said Dorit. Thought she would have said Erica, not this season, but would have said Erica because she literally had a theme, a storyboard of how she would dress. But she said Dorit. Andy asked if she buys all of her designer stuff wholesale. She says yes, which and she doesn't take discounts or whatever. And he was even alluding to the fact that some people have deals worked out. He didn't. He said this without saying it. Where since you're going to be wearing a certain designer or whatever, they'll either give it to you for a fraction or just give it to you for free as long as you promote it not only on the show but sometimes on your social media as well. She said no, but rumor has it that she has been known to buy from certain companies and then literally turn right back around and sell it. And she's on the no list for some of those companies. Again, rumor has it, allegedly, allegedly, allegedly. Again, like nothing really happens. And like, I'm probably just going to come back for the Erica piece. We'll see. If they say something interesting, I'll be back. Now, we're only 37 minutes in. Obviously, it's an hour. I tried to told y'all that they gonna say this Erica for the very end. So next week better be on and popping. But nevertheless, we have the Kathy segment. Didn't know we needed a Kathy segment, but we got one. Andy compares Kathy's kookiness to that of Kim, which I can see that. They actually do share a whole lot of kookiness. But I think some of Kim's kookiness comes from her just being in Hollywood a hell of a lot longer than Kyle, catch the shade. So I think that's where that comes from. But that was a good comparison. But then Kathy went ahead and said, y'all know the real Kyle, but they eased right on by that. Because we should have stuck there for a minute. We should have stayed there, but all right. Kathy is asked about the whole her raising children. Hotel Police, she said that was 7 years. But her husband no longer, if I'm not mistaken, no longer owns Hilton Hotels because he sold that 10 years ago, but that was a family business. I hope I caught that correctly because I really didn't write notes. Because nothing against Kathy. I enjoy Kathy on the show. Just one of those where it's just like, now I want to take a stop to say we better get in the scholar segment for the Potomac reunion. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. Okay, so now we're with the Erica piece. I am literally just going to pause, play, pause, play, pause, play. Because I don't feel like writing a whole lot of shit down. But another part of her package played, and it was pretty much just the stories that she tell, and she pretty much, and it ended with her saying, when this is behind me, I'm going to know, it's going to be sweet because I'm going to know who was there for me, who wasn't. And he's asking her who. She like, why'd you ask them? And he's prying. She's like, well, I've been keeping score. And he's like, well, what's the tally? Well, I'm not going to tell. Now this is one of those where I will give it to Erica. Reason being is that's a power move, period, where you don't want to sit here and reveal it to them. It's just like, oh, I know who's been running for me and I know who's not. And then you can use that as leverage, use that against people, whatever it is she wants to do. I'm not mad at her for keeping that a secret. Now, Kyle has just jumped in. Let's see what Kyle got to say. So Kyle brings up the fact that she, heard it through the grapevine that she was mad with her. And she just needs to understand the position that they were in. And, she knows there were things that she knew things that she couldn't say. I wonder why we ain't saying now. And then there were things she wished she would have said. I guess then what she's recently shared during the taping of the reunion that probably would have helped things along. So Erica goes ahead and brings up, what was most hurtful to her was the dinner with Kyle, Mauricio, Frito-Lay's, and PK. Which I'm like, and I can understand, especially letting that play out, but So you just going to use all the ish she said in her confessionals and how low key she was on the side of Sutton, but didn't want to say it, but wanted to sit here and hold Sutton to the fire. Okay, maybe she might say it. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. So you have Kyle pretty much just saying how PK and Mauricio have their own little brotherhood, and it was just difficult getting through that. And she's t- pretty much like jumbling her words, which again you saw this season back. You should have had this already planned out, how you were going to address it, but you did not. Now you have Frito Lay saying how they were they were, or more or less, I guess she was trying to retell the story involving her son, and things just got jumbled and all this other stuff. And here we go. And I'm shocked that they did not play the scene where Dorito said everything that Erica said is the diametrical opposite of what it is that we know. Why we didn't get that. So I don't know, like, it seems like they're trying to hold this. Like, I want all this to come out because it makes for good TV. Erica says, whatever questions you guys got for me, I'm here to discuss it. And Garcelle was just like, why is it that you couldn't understand how we felt in terms of being grouped up in it? It's more or less because I've stopped it right there when she said it, but I'm pretty sure she's alluding to the fact that because she is on this show, anytime something comes up, the media can easily draw in the women of Beverly Hills because they're filming with her, and they could potentially be drawn into this case because Bravo just got subpoenaed where they have access to all the unseen footage involving Tom, and I think also, well, yeah, Tom and Erica, whatever scenes they had, they can pull and possibly use that not even possibly use that against her in court. So again, the women had a good thing, not a good thing, but their beliefs are valid, where it's like we could get dragged into this. And the fact that Bravo as an entity has gotten brought into this, you don't think they're going to pull the women? And now you have Erica pretty much saying that the most that happens is you guys become fodder for social media. Other than that, there is no way that they can tie you all in or even bring you all in. And if you think so, then it's bull. Okay, Erica, you're not making sense right now. So you now have Sutton piping up trying to explain her side of things, and Erica was saying, if you felt a way, then you could have called me. And Sutton was like, no, because you ran away. Now, again, Sutton is very calm and very passive, but it landed. Because her saying you ran away, Erica's denying it. Obviously, Bravo is showing the beautiful bean footage. And the footage they're showing is her leaving right before the article dropped. Because what Sutton was saying is it's the article that did it for me. But Erica left right, like, while they were on the trip right before it went to press, or in it, I am showing my damn age, before it hit social media. I'll be 35 in December, y'all. Nevertheless, so but yeah, you ran, Erica. So they're talking about the case and whatnot, and one thing that I find to be so funny is the main person everybody is scared of on these two couches is Kathy. Because whenever Kathy pipes up, everybody shuts up because any other person, Erica is doing her damnedest to, cut them off, spin the narrative. And Kathy had pretty much said, like, okay, well, there's other people that have been, I can't remember exactly what said, pretty much lawsuits. And Andy said, well, the difference is when you have somebody that was defrauding the government and not paying their taxes, New Jersey, and I guess he didn't want to speak on Salt Lake City just yet. He's like, that's one, and it pretty much what he's saying is with these are companies and whatnot where I guess no one really gets hurt, but in this particular instance, money is allegedly being taken away from these victims where they have gone through some things. And the burn victim is one of those where it's like you can't really go left or right or center from that. Like, that is what that is. And you have Erica trying yet again to be like, I understand that, but how do you think I feel? This ain't about you. And then even going so far as to say, I've said I feel bad for the victims. And they were just like, no, you ain't said that. And Crystal had piped up and said something. I forget exactly what she said, but Erica did the head movement of, oh, really? You forgot your place. That's the look she gave her, like, oh, did nobody tell you to speak on this? You ain't been on the show long enough to speak. That was the look that she gave her. So I think this is when Crystal go ahead and gets her head bitten off, because again, you thinking that you in with the cool kids, but you're not. In addition to that, it is so funny because I don't like the fact that Andy overlooked this, and I'm jumping backwards, when Garcelle had kept saying that it's almost like it's the three of us and then the rest of y'all, and then within the three of us, it's me and Crystal because we are minorities, so it's all different. And it took Garcelle having to be broken down and crying for them to understand, despite the fact that, it was like, oh yeah, we love Crystal's culture, but you didn't like Garcelle's culture. And then it took Crystal having to break down for them to even remotely embrace her. So why is it that women of color on the shows have to be broken down and shown a vulnerable side for you to accept them when you can just accept them in general? Like, come on. Okay, so to get right what I said, Erica said I felt horrible, and they all said you never said that. That was the part. And then you even had Crystal saying, why didn't you say that to the victims? And then it was, you come off as being a victim, which she's not a victim per se, but I mean, she is enduring something. So yeah, you do feel a certain way. But she is arguing tooth and nail, and then even said that, I had to answer things a certain way, and I gave as much as I could, and even that is going to be flipped. She's absolutely right, but it's the way that you came off. And again, I've said this, and multiple other people said this, where had she just came out and just said, I did not know this was happening, woo wop de woo, I feel bad for the victims, I hear that this is going on, I'm being sued because of blah 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 blah, I'm willing and ready to work with the victims and their attorneys so I can sit here and help rectify this because they need what they need, blase 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 blah, rather than just saying this was my 20 million and this, that, and the third. Okay, well, it is what it is, so you're reaping the consequences. So Erica's social media comes up, and in terms of her being tone deaf, and she keeps saying, well, am I not supposed to pay the bills? Am I not supposed to do this? Not understand. And again, I guess we can call her a narcissist, because you can pay the bills, but you don't have to attack people in the process of you promoting these brands to pay the bills. Because I wouldn't be surprised if some of these brands, if they haven't already detached themselves from her, detach themselves because of how vile her responses are. And again, it's her social media. Do what the hell you want to do. Because again, I'm not here to police what anybody does or doesn't say. And if you, and I'm also in the club of, you can't do wrong by somebody and tell them how to act. But again, them trying to, and it seems like this was one of those where they're trying to throw her a bone, like, these are ways that you can help not make yourself look as bad as you do. But she doesn't want to take that. And again, maybe it's because of the script that she's going off of that Tom's lawyers gave her. I said that. Yes, I did. She's asked, so the question is, what did Erica know? And she pretty much said, I didn't work at the firm. So Anne was like, so the answer is no. Okay. And then Crystal is pretty much trying to figure out, where is your anger towards Tom, which somebody else on the cast had asked that. And she's like, well, did you not hear me say that I didn't know who I was married to for the last 20 years? Did you not hear, the anger in my voice, this, that, and the third? Still not the point. Because there was never a point during filming that she literally was just angry at Tom. Maybe angry at the situation, but not angry at the person that helped to create that situation. And it pretty much just ends with Erica, running around the mulberry bush, just talking in circles. And even Andy asked her, did she know about Tom not having the money that he pretty much was making it seem like he knew, and she references, I believe, the last reunion or the reunion before that, but I think it was the last reunion. No, it was the reunion before, so not last year, but the year before, where a case like it was a headline of Tom defaulting on, I think it was like a $15 million, yeah, $15 million loan, and she said that during the reunion it's been handled, they apologized, but then she says present day or on the reunion that she asked Tom, what is this, and he pretty much just said, don't worry about it, and she says it in an angry tone, and then yet again turns to Chris and said, am I angry enough for you now? So I don't know, but that's pretty much it. So give me a second, I just want to see what part 4 is looking like. I need everything to happen in part 4. All right, so yeah, it seems like part 4 is gonna give us all of what we need, and from the looks of it, and I think it was actually really BTV that said this. Go subscribe to her, all the good jazz. I'll be on there tomorrow. But that the Erica scene was more than, and by looking at it, it seemed like they shot all of that at one time, but they just broke it up conveniently and gave us bits and pieces. Cause yeah, they knew that if they didn't, we probably was just gonna check out if they gave it all to the beginning or the end. But it's all going to conclude she's gonna be in her bag because no one's defending her. I'm pretty sure it was a fan question that called out Lisa Rinna, Frito Lay's, and Kyle. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So yeah, y'all, that's it. That's all I got. I was actually able to squeeze in a decent episode, but that's because I wanted to talk to y'all for a minute. So that's all I got. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. So please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you all for the next video. So I'll be on Really BTV's channel tomorrow. The next video should be Potomac. Yeah, that's about right. All right, peace out.